Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Hope you're all having a great morning so far. We're in for a good day today.
Absolutely.
Before everything.
Yeah, today is the day. Then over the next 2 weeks, potentially, today may end up being the best day of a 1 to 2 week run. That's saying something. Low 60s this afternoon. The colder air starts coming late tomorrow. We got the weekend mess coming with that potential wintry weather. And then the cold air is just going to lock in. That's going to be another big story. The extended run of cold temps that may last all of next week into the following weekend. So we're going to dig into that. Of course, the big story is the weekend storm. I've done some adjusting, some fine-tuning on our forecast here locally. Generally changes a little bit for the better, perhaps, depending on your perspective. Those of you that want snow, it looks like a long shot right now. We may see a few snowflakes, but accumulating snow is looking pretty unlikely for most of us. But I'll dig into all that. The ice is another story, and that's the big concern here across some of eastern Carolina. How much ice will we get? So we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah, and speaking of the potential for that freezing rain and that ice accumulation, we were able to get in touch with some emergency response crews as well as Greenville Utilities, just as they're preparing for this storm and what they plan on doing, how they're going to, what their plan is going forward, especially if, you know, sometimes that ice can bring down some power lines, bring some power outages to our area. So a lot of plans are being made. They're assessing what they can do. So we actually spoke to some people, and we have some tips on battling out the ice storm.
We're prepared for all kinds of emergencies because we have to be every day of the year.
As an ice storm is expected to make its way to eastern North Carolina, utility officials explain ways we can stay safe during the cold. It's not just the roads we're looking out for, but the power lines too.
And if there's enough ice that accumulates, it can weigh down and pull down the power lines. It's a big problem.
Throughout the year, GUC routinely trims branches away from power lines. This program is made to reduce the chances of branches falling onto power lines. However, they can fall into yards, roads, or on top of cars.
It's always a possibility, so we ask folks to be mindful of where the trees are, and if you see a line go down, please don't touch it. Call it in, report it.
Utility officials also recommend ways we can get through the cold indoors.
That we ask that you put our emergency phone number into your cell phone, and also maybe put your account number in the notes. So that way you can easily call us in the case of an outage or a utility-related emergency, and that will automatically get you into the system and get hooked up to your account.
Officials say when it gets really cold, it puts extra stress on the electric grid. Taking extra steps to conserve energy can help.
Maybe you turn down your thermostat just a couple of degrees, 3 to 5 degrees, dress a little bit warmer inside your home.
And although utility companies are ready to go,
I don't think I'm super concerned. Like I said, I feel like there is often maybe a possibility of it, and it's not as bad as I maybe think. So.
Being informed and prepared may help you in the long run. Reporting from Greenville, Lucy Ritchie, WITN News.
We're prepared for all.
Yeah, so just things to keep in mind. Good to hear that. I mean, they're doing a lot of work behind the scenes. All the linemen out there, everyone at Greenville Utilities. I know a lot of the fire departments, the police departments, all local law enforcement and first responders are getting ready as well. They're ready, and I'm sure a lot of people are also getting ready too, especially today. Yesterday we had a story about people going to the grocery store, getting all stocked up in the event that this can knock power out or, you know, keep people kind of inside for the weekend.
Yeah, it's not often I say it, but this will be a legitimate get your milk and bread storm. For some folks, well, inland, we still don't know exactly who, which I could definitively say this is who's going to get it and this who isn't, but is still seeing a lot of variation, a lot of fluctuation in the data. The general trend has been fairly good for us. Hopefully that trend continues, but it could flop back the other way. I got a lot to talk about, so we'll jump right in, get you guys updated on the storm, the track, and the impacts. Again, first alert weather days will kick in Saturday afternoon and persist into Monday morning. Winter storm watch is now in effect, and when the Weather Service issues a winter storm watch, they're implying winter weather conditions usually within 48 hours. This will be a little bit further out, but I think they wanted to give folks a head start given the strength and impacts of the storm. Runs from Gates County Hertford County, Osceola-Hosky, Windsor, Williamston, Greenville, Kinston, Kenansville, and their counties, respective counties and points west. You could also say, what I like to say is Highway 17 is a good way to kind of generalize that. You go west of Highway 17, you start getting into the impacts. East of Highway 17, it's very nice to see so many counties not in the watch, meaning fairly low impacts the way it looks right now. Albemarle Sound region through the beaches, from the Pamlico Sound counties, including Beaufort, Craven, Jones, and Onslow counties and points south and east. No watch for you guys. Could that change? Certainly. But right now, no watch for you, and hopefully we can stay that way. And based on the trends, we may. All right, further to the west, the further west you go, the bigger, stronger, more impactful this storm. Those watches will eventually likely become warnings or advisories. That usually happens about 24 to 36 hours out. So probably by later today, the Weather Service will start upgrading those, depending on how that data is coming together. Okay, so let's give you the latest track on the storm. Again, as we go through Friday, the storm's building west and south of us. Get you into Saturday afternoon. Generally looks like a mid-afternoon start time, give or take. Yesterday I was saying maybe sunrise. My thinking now is after lunchtime Saturday. All right, so midday to sunset Saturday, light snow and sleet. Our chance to see snowflakes will be limited to maybe a 2 to 4 hour window at the onset of the precip, afternoon, evening hours Saturday, the way it looks right now. A little snow, a little sleet for a brief period. And that means accumulations will be slim in all likelihood. That higher probability of snow near the northern state line, Virginia, and western North Carolina. When I say snow, I mean potentially a lot of snow back there. We're not going to see much the way it looks like. In fact, I don't see much more than an inch, if that, across most of our area. All right, the more significant impact, the freezing rain. Saturday night into Sunday, that onset of sleet, snow, quickly changes over to rain to freezing rain. And that freezing rain line, generally Highway 17 again, give or take, that will move around. Could go a little further west, which would be wonderful if it does. Could go a little further east and bring more people into the freezing rain zone, if you will. And again, the core of that looks like late Saturday night, and then later Sunday night as well, as that storm kind of cranks up off the coast, and then it moves away as the sun's rising Monday. That freezing rain, if it does persist for that long back in that zone, it will start accumulating significantly, potentially. Saturday afternoon, evening, the precip moves in. Light snow, sleet, I mentioned, generally to start for almost everybody, even the beaches. Accumulations, looks like they'll stay under an inch, just about all of us right now, until you get well north of Highway 64 and west of I-95. Roads certainly may get slick regardless. By late afternoon, evening tomorrow, it's going to be very cold. So a little bit of precip in that very cold air certainly could develop slick spots, bridges, overpasses, maybe by 4, 5, 6 p.m. tomorrow, getting icy spots. And then Saturday night, Sunday into Sunday night, in and out of some heavier precip, freezing rain inland, rain coast. We talked about that line with that potential for significant ice buildup. Well, inland, depending on who stays ice the longest of freezing rain. Certainly risk of some power outages back there to the west. Watching that line. Kind of an early look at what we're thinking as far as ice accumulation, subject to shifting. I like the lineup of the contours. That whole area could shift a little west or east, but there'll be a tapering to a rising, whether you're going west to east or east to west. The core of the ice right now looks like the I-95 corridor, and then back towards maybe Raleigh, up into Halifax County, Edgecombe, you're in that, Wilson County, maybe Wayne County. Again, that may shift a little further west. We'll have to watch and see. A glaze to a tenth of an inch, no power outages. Tenth to a quarter of an inch. Quarter of an inch is kind of the key number. Generally, once you hit that number on ice buildup, that's when you start getting some limbs coming down and power outages. So that's what we're going to watch closely as far as ice accumulation. Again, well inland, looking like a good bet, but give me some room on those numbers. It's kind of early on that. But that's kind of a look at what we're thinking right now. Out the door this morning, I've had a few raindrops coming through. There they are, headed to the coast over the next hour. It looks like by 8:30 those few sprinkles will be done. But right now, maybe a little bit on the wiper here or there as you head out. Under the clouds. And under that cloud deck, we're in the mid-40s. No 20s, no 30s. A little more agreeable as you head out. West wind at about 5 to 10. Chilly to cool, AM to PM. Mostly sunny later today. We're locked in with clouds now, but they break up. You can see the model data midday looks good. Yes, 60, 61, 62 this afternoon from Chinquapin, Esmeralda. Hosky, Fay, I don't think you'll hit the 60s, but maybe some mid to upper 50s up your way later today. In and out of clouds, rain unlikely. Overnight, maybe a stray shower during the overnight. Clouds kind of re-thicken. Friday looks like we'll be socked in with clouds. I'm forecasting 52 for tomorrow. Yeah, I may end up too warm on that. Models are trending a little colder, but the real cold air moves in tomorrow evening. Raindrops. Highway 60 or 264 southward generally tomorrow afternoon. Maybe a tenth of an inch of rain moves through down there. It looks like it'll stay out of you guys, northern counties. And then we'll get you into Saturday. Whew, look at those temperatures. 20 degrees to start the day, give or take, Saturday morning. The good news on that graphic, there's no precip over us. And most of the data also showing a dry start. Clouds, yeah. Frigid air, yeah. It's not going to be fun out there, but at least you will be able to drive, probably, sunrise to lunchtime. Could that change? Yes, but right now it looks like we start with dry roads. And then into the afternoon, as you start to see that pink fill in, that's your light snow to sleet, a mix. That's why it's not shaded white. It's not an all snow deal. And that may come earlier. It could be 1, 2 o'clock when we start spitting some snowflakes or sleet. And then kind of filling in as we get into the overnight, again, Saturday night into Sunday. Rain on the coast. We talked about that freezing rain inland, with temperatures generally easing upward as we get into Sunday to 40 on the coast. I'll give you that big map perspective real quick, then we'll pull that 8-day up. The colder air back to the west. By the way, that cold air, once it really settles in, Sunday night, we're going to be locked in that next week. It's going to be a mess out there. It's going to be mighty, mighty cold. We've got a first alert weather night Monday night as well, strictly for the cold air. There's Saturday afternoon, evening, that precip moves in. And you can see Sunday, that model keeping the wintry mist generally back by I-95. If that verifies, we'll do pretty well in terms of here in eastern Carolina. All righty, 8-day forecast. 60s today, 50s tomorrow, maybe early with 40s in the afternoon. Rain southern counties tomorrow. And then, of course, tracking the mess over the weekend. Overnight lows, mid-20s. Monday, very, very cold, but the precip's done. That thermometer will tumble down towards the low teens Monday night. Anything that got wet or any precipitation on the ground, hard freeze again Monday night. And we just don't know exactly what will be out there right now. Mm-hmm. But again, this looks like primarily freezing rain inland to rain coast, Saturday night, Sunday night. Shifting around, there's still a lot of variation in the models. That last one I showed you, bringing the core of all that wintry stuff west of us all together. If that happens, we'll be in really good shape everywhere. And I'm not saying it's going to, but it's a possibility. Okay.
Yeah, so just looking at this again, like you said, I think some of the biggest changes that we saw from yesterday to today, that timing on the Saturday yep. when it begins, and also just the way that things are kind of taking shape right now in terms of where we'll be seeing rain versus freezing snow versus snow.
Getting a better handle on that dividing line rain to snow, and it has moved further inland.
Okay,
it was looking like most of the coastal counties will be in that mess. Now it doesn't. It looks more like west of Highway 17. And again, I'm hoping that westward trend continues. That would really help a lot of the inland counties out a lot before it's all said and done. And we just don't know yet how that's going to line up, but watching that closely.
All right, well, enjoy today, though. I know Bernice in our comments saying the calm before the storm. Surely so today. Also, Marlene in the comments saying, I know it's January. I agree. We are in the peak of winter, but it's still just not all, it doesn't feel great having consistent cold temperatures.
She makes a good point about the electricity going out.
Yes.
If we get that ice storm, there will be a lot of power outages, and you'll lose that power going into a very, very cold run of days. that means you have to be prepared to deal with that power outage in terms of keeping yourself warm. It's not going to be anywhere near mild after the power goes out, if it goes out. You're going to be dealing with bitter cold air, potentially no power. That can be very, very tough for a lot of folks. If we get widespread power outages. Right now it looks like I-95-ish and west, but we have to watch that closely. And more importantly, just be prepared now. I'm already, I got some flashlights, some more candles.
Good.
I'm going to go get wood today. I have a fireplace, fortunately, so if I lose power, I can at least keep a fire going. But again, that possibility certainly will be there for some folks.
Always better to be safe than sorry.
Absolutely.
We do have to hop off this morning, but I know there are quite a few people in our comments. But feel free to come back at 8 a.m. for another news and weather update. Jim's going to have more details, and he can answer more of your questions. But thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back again at 8. Have a great one.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by Toyota of Goldsboro.